listen to these idiots, tell lies about, or slag off, or hate on, George Lucas, the only man who could bring you Star Wars in his vision anyway. But look, they all slag Disney, but look how they will crawl up their ass. Disney ass fuckers, are these, you will know. Expert, my ass. They feed fans bullshit to stop you knowing what Lucas wanted. You know what he learned from them. He his focus, they clarity, go seek and find, stop listening to half these shit stirrers. They are all distracting you from world enlightenment that leaves no one, no man, no woman, no color or race, no matter how stupid you think now or once, a falsity. They are light, you are made of light, but darkness surrounds in false empires. Papal time, so obvious I get them now. You who love Disney, go spit on Mr. Lucas, yet still be saved. Your God does not offer that. How can he, when a human, you give your higher power to the lowest, they all, this is to change that. But like many before who told this story, long ago, the many were not ready, but time is up, there is no more growing till you all reach this conclusion. We will try put all there, and the words of him who cannot defend himself, from the masses, due to lies just like this, yet they are most watched, and yet the truth is not as watched, even though meant for woken, it is really for all humanity.
Disney's sequel trilogy ultimately incorporated ideas that resembled Lucas. Lucas once envisioned a female Jedi Padawan, Kira, eventually materialized as Daisy Ridley's Rey, and an aged and exiled Luke Skywalker, played by a returning Mark Hamill. The story between an in-training Rey and reluctant teacher Luke in Rian Johnson's Star Wars The Last Jedi was inspired in part by Lucas's original concepts with the Jedi Killer character, that's Kylo, character imagined by Lucas earlier being realized as the Force Awakens villain Kylo Ren. Yeah, that has nothing to do with The Last Jedi. Lucas commented on his plans for the sequels in 2018. As Lucas told it, the trilogy was going to get into a microbiotic world, which is true. George Lucas, so basically Star Wars, from what I have read and understand, Star Wars started out with a narration by the Wills. And these were, if you guys remember the Wills, the Clone Wars episode, this is who Qui-Gon learns. These beings are like these ascended beings. They're like priests, pretty much. They're like kind of like God figures. And they were watching the events of the Skywalkers kind of on their TV. And they were watching the events of the Skywalkers kind of on their TV. They were learning about them, which had already taken place in the past. That's why Star Wars says a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, because it's supposed to be from the narration or from the actually at least point of view of the wills of these ascended beings.
Pointless.
Having
Lie,
read the script,
bullshit, fuck off idiot, and most
R2-D2
prefer
and
this same
C-3PO
shit. This is
are the
why most
storytellers.
fail, fucking
They're minor
stupid
characters, but they
fuckers,
tell the
no
story.
clue at all
We
and do
realised
not
that if
listen
you didn't
what
have
the
those
creator
characters,
says.
we didn't.
Family problems and that kind, it's not about spaceships. So they decided they didn't want to use those stories. They decided they were going to go do their own thing, and so I decided, fine, but basically I'm not going to try to, they weren't that keen to have me involved anyway, but at the same time I said, I'm not going to, if I get in there, I'm just going to cause trouble, because they're not going to do what I want them to do. So, and I don't have the control to do that anymore, and all I would do is muck everything up. So I said, okay, I will go my way and I'll let them go their way. And it really does come down to a simple rule of life, which is when you break up with somebody, the first rule is no phone calls. The second rule, you don't go over to their house and drive by to see what they're doing. The third one is you don't show up at their coffee shop or the things what you're going to run in. You just say, no, gone, history, I'm moving forward. And I knew from, and I had the story treatments or, outlines.
To tell you, finally, who you really are, and if you let it, You will live normal man's and woman's dreams, a golden era, like before, which saw no war, no borders, no greed, no poverty, no wasteful deaths. You want that. If not, you have learned absolutely nothing from Star Wars, but it's just the start of a truth many hide, and many fear, and many told to fear, as this fallen order is different and the same. You will know what we do, when we do, as this was the will of its creator who wants fans know. It was not them why he had to, but you will know why. I cannot prove or say it as it will bring more. He is getting old, let him finish the documentary filmmaker he was. Let him go, but he will always be remembered if this time it works. What works? You will know, fear, some at first, but accept now or live a lie. All has been done for this, for others to tell what he left open. They, he says, need you, as there will not be another time for retelling this story again. We are so close this time. It is why the world is breaking, so you see it with any eyes. Do not run from fear, fight it with light. They are it, and so you too are made of it by your true creator. They say it is one and all, but lost in dogma. Many tried tell you, but this is our new way, from control of religion. Lucas brought the future in many ways. Now live it from through us, as we know. 40 plus years we have been unaware for most, like you, but those years working we would eventually learn, as did George. He is not the teacher, but the path creator, taught to, as others will finish off what he left open, as he did not know it or is not above it. Lore, nature, and nature, the forces of nature. All, manipulated by frequencies you vibrate. This is what the last part was meant to tell. It stopped in May 2012, then Disney brought it, but they do not know the story. They are the enemy. Aware you may not be, but true. You will unlearn and newly learn truth. We promise that, as they dare not, yet we are separate parts of the same work. Understand it, know its true power. No one can tell you and reason why. Work it out. They are much higher than even Lucas would ever be, but he shares their values. So be the idiot what slags of them so important and dangerous to make trilogy as we laugh, but they do not and will still save you. We take the piss out of what you lot did. We have to answer to no one. Who does that sound like to you? Oh come on, he has been through too much to let it fail, with Disney. New Galaxy made lies. Kennedy was the tipping point for some. It will rewrite the past, as victors have already done. To you all, this is what he meant, not more. That is obvious anime, red herring, to be clever enough to outsmart Disney and Hollywood, and you slag him for having the burden of money and fame. It truly is to a man filled with compassion for others.
Fuck off, dickhead. This is to set up the fall and conquer you, all to destroy the hidden within that Lucas went through fucking shit for. These ungrateful fucks, he gave all, so you then spit on. Listen to Lucas tell, you dumb fuck.
What happened was, Disney said, gee, or Bob Iger said, gee, if you really want to sell your company, if you're thinking about selling it, because we were talking about retirement and what are you going to do after all this kind of stuff. And he said, well, if you really want to sell it, we're very interested. So that started that ball rolling. Tried to make movies where I step away